Greetings and welcome to Guild Wars 2 Weekly, your weekly source of Guild Wars 2 news and info. I'm your host, Zol Fury, and the headlines for the past week. First up, ArenaNet posted a small blog about getting ready for Gamescom, in which they posted some pretty exciting things to look forward to, as far as playable demos are concerned. The first thing to note is that all of the current 7 professions will be playable. The next thing is that we will be able to see the Char starter area. I'm pretty excited about that. I love the Char. Another really cool thing is that we will finally be able to see both Sylvari and Asura gameplay. I am really looking forward to seeing what those two would look like in combat. Also, another really big highlight is that we will be able to experience the character customization. This is an extremely important feature in the game, and I am very excited to get a look at that. The last thing to note is that we will finally be able to get a look at some PvP. Not only will the fans playing the demo be able to fight each other, but there will be exhibition matches between ArenaNet's developers and a top-end European guild called Boon Control. That seems like it would be pretty exciting. I hope they record it so I can watch it, because I don't think I can make it to Gamescom. But anyways, that's about all for the news this week, so let's move on to our main feature. Today we will be taking an overview of the Elder Dragons. We will not be going into the lore of them, though I might start that up as a series in and of itself. Today we will just be looking at the different Elder Dragons and what they mean for the story. The first thing to note about them is that they are bad. They are evil. They are the main antagonists in the Guild Wars 2 universe. They are also very old and very, very powerful. And there are currently 5 of them that have been announced. It doesn't appear as though there will be any more than these 5, but, you know, they might add 1 or 2 later on. The last thing to note about the Elder Dragons is that we do not know whether they are male or female, or if they even have a gender. Though they have no clear gender, I will still be referring to them as he's, just because that's easiest for me to remember. So all that being said, the first dragon is Primordus. He was the first to awake, and he awoke underground, which is what forced the Asura to go to the surface. Currently he remains underground, and his powers are unclear, though they are likely something to do with fire. His minions are also unclear, besides the Destroyers, which were his minions, and the Great Destroyer was his champion at one point. Next we have Jormag. He was the second to awake, and he awoke in the far Shiver Peaks, where he remains to this day. His powers are that of ice and snow, and his minions of ice are called the Ice Brood, and these have the power to turn people or creatures into more Ice Brood. Next we have Zhaitan. He was the third to awake, and he awoke in the land of Or. Currently he lives in Ara, the city of the gods, in Or, and he has powers of undeath. He controls a horde of undead minions. He has both a huge undead army as well as a commanding undead navy under his command. Zhaitan is the main antagonist for the initial release of Guild Wars 2, and will be the only one that you will come across in the initial release of the game. Next we have the Deep Sea Dragon. He was the fourth to awake. Where it awoke, as well as where it currently resides, is unknown. One would assume it has powers of water, but not much is known about this dragon. Lastly, we have Kralkatorrik. Kralkatorrik was the last to awake, and he awoke in the Char homelands only 5 years prior to the current year of Guild Wars 2. Currently he resides in the Northern Crystal Desert. Kralkatorrik is by far the biggest dragon, and he stands over 1,000 feet tall. Not long, tall. And his wingspan easily blocks out the sun. I mean, look at this picture on your screen. Those are spikes from his back. And you see those ships? You see those ships? Yeah, those ships are dwarfed by Kralkatorrik's, just his spikes. I mean, seriously, he makes Deathwing look like he's out of the movie How to Tame Your Dragon. Seriously. At any rate, he has crystalline powers, which are the ability to corrupt anything organic. Likewise, he has crystal minions, and one of his most notable minions is his champion, the Shatterer, which I'm sure you've seen in some demos. At any rate, that wraps up all the dragons, so that wraps me up for the day. I certainly hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to tune in on Thursday, where we will take a quick look at the mighty Norn. I'm Zolfury, and I'll see you then.